I get so many queries, messages, DMs from people who want to teach their kids music and they don't know where to begin. So this is a video which I would like to share to explain 10 important things that you should know if you want your kid to learn music. The first very important thing from my personal experience which you should do before enrolling your kid to any music class is listening music. I personally feel that you start learning music the moment you start listening to it. From my personal experience, I would like to share that since I was a very small kid, since I even remember anything, my parents used to put up the cassette player, the radio, and I used to listen to all different types of songs, right from classical music, jazz music, English music, Natya Sangeet, Bhava Sangeet. I used to listen to everything, and that is how I think I started to enjoy music, because I started to listen to it first. The thing that I would like to highlight here is that the music that you listen to is going to be heard by your kids, and I think that is where they are going to start to fall in love with the right kind of music. So what kind of music you play in your car, what kind of music you play at home is going to define your kids' music choices too. So I think that is one of the very, very important things. The second important part that you should know is that the bass is always going to be good if it is going to begin with classical music. Whether it is Western classical, whether it is Hindustani classical, whether it is Carnatic classical, the foundation on which the learning is built is going to define the long-term success of the building of your kids' music career. What I have noticed is that a lot of parents just want their kids to learn songs. There is nothing wrong in it. Music is based on 7 notes, and even if you sing a song, even if you sing a classical piece, it is music that you are going to take forward. But I definitely would like to suggest that you start the learning with at least a little bit of basic of classical music, and that is going to take your kid really way forward. It is going to be hard, especially in today's world with so many other diversions in front of us. It was even hard when I started learning. So I started learning classical music when I was very young, and to be very frank with you, I was a small kid and I did not enjoy sitting at one place and singing and doing riyaz of just one swar for a long period of time. But it was because of my parents' push and my guru's push that I kind of went through that phase, and today I'm really glad that they did it at that point of time, so that today when I'm sitting here I can rely on the basic foundation on which my music was built. The third important part which I would like to share is that finding a proper person with whom your kid can connect to. Finding a music class which is close by to you is an easy way to begin, and I don't deny that. But I would also like to share that finding that connection with the teacher or with the person who is sharing music is truly important. I think the kid should be able to connect with more than just music. The kid should be able to communicate. The kid should be able to feel what the teacher is trying to say. And for me, I think one of the very important part is the connection with the teacher, which helps the kid grow not only just musically but also personally. To go ahead with the next point, I'm answering the most common question that I'm always asked: what is the right age for my kid to start learning music? I would personally like to suggest that somewhere around 6 years is the right age to actually start formal education. That is the age when the kid actually understands melody, rhythm, and also a little bit of verses to begin with. And that is when you might understand that your kid is, trying to follow some melody, trying to follow some rhythm. You can see music if your kid is humming along, or if your kid is trying to play some kind of drums or tabla on the table. You can get subtle hints that your kid is interested in music, and maybe you can take him or her forward in that direction. For the next important point, I personally feel that learning music should be a combination of online and offline. I am anyways considering online education as kind of a prerequisite in today's world. We have changed a lot after COVID, and we have understood that a lot of things can be learned online, and music is one amongst them. I personally teach a few people through my online sessions. And though I would recommend online sessions, I feel that especially with small kids who are beginning to learn music, the offline connection with the teacher is more important. So even if you're enrolling your kids for any online music sessions, do make sure that he or she goes for an offline session at least once a month, so that he or she can connect with the teacher, with the other students, with the entire vibe of the music class. And I think that is really, really important. The next point is my personal favorite, and I cannot stop emphasizing its importance. It is very, very important to take your kids to as many live concerts as possible. Because when your kids start to learn music, that is something which he or she will learn theoretically. But when you take them to live concerts, they will see a lot of practical application of what he or she has learned. Live concerts is something which is more than entertainment. If you're learning music, I would personally say that for a student of music, every live concert is like a practical implementation of all the knowledge that you've had. I've always been really lucky that I have been to so many different concerts since I was a kid, and I would like to share that this is one of the very important things that you can do for your kids if you want them to really learn good quality music. Next, very important thing is that I would personally love if you can share a 360-degree perspective of music with your kids. For example, if your son is learning vocal music, let's not limit him to just singing, because singing is an aspect of music. He or she should also understand what goes beyond the vocals in a track. So for example, if a song is playing in your car while you're going somewhere, you can encourage your kids to answer some questions like, what kind of melody is going on? Is it a guitar playing? Is it a sitar? Is it a fusion track? What genre of music do you think it is? Who has composed this? Who has written the lyrics? Do you know any other song which is composed by this same music director? Things like that will ignite a different kind of charm towards learning music than just going to the class and singing the alankars or singing the songs. I think the 360-degree perspective towards learning music is something which you can introduce for your kids, and that can be a very, very important learning factor for them. For the next important point, I would like to share my personal journey. I started learning since I was very young, and I have always focused on vocals since I was a kid. So I started off and started performing as a singer, and after many years I evolved myself into a singer, songwriter, a producer, getting a different perspective towards music in a little bit later stage of my life. So the one thing which I kind of regret is not learning an instrument when I was very young, because that is the time when you can grasp the most out of it. And the very important thing that I would like to share here is that learning an instrument along with singing is going to help your kid a lot. So if your kid wants to learn singing, you may want to encourage him or her to take up an instrument along with singing, because that is going to add a very different perspective towards learning just the vocals, even if he or she wants to continue with the vocals. Learning an instrument along with singing is something which will give you an edge, and I would definitely recommend it. The next point is very, very important from your perspective as a parent, and I would like to share that even if it is your dream that your kid should start learning music, I would suggest that you do not force it on your kid. Let it come naturally. I understand that making your kid go for a music class or making your kid attend a music session is something which you have to do. But if you get a feeling that he or she is not enjoying it, or he or she does not seem happy after attending the class, I would really, really suggest that you maybe take a small pause and maybe revisit it after some time. But do not force the music on your kid. Music is something which has to be enjoyed. It should not be forced upon. It should not be something which has to be done by compulsion. Music is something which should give you joy. So the very important thing in this point that I would like to highlight is that do not force music and try and make it as natural as possible. Coming towards the last point of this video, the more exposure you can give to your kids in respect of the genres of music that you can listen to or you can make your kid listen to is going to make your kid learn something which cannot be read in books or in classrooms. So for example, listening to Indian classical along with Western pop, along with K-pop, along with maybe a ghazal sometimes, whatever music you enjoy, and the more diverse types of music that you introduce your kids to is going to open up so many doors that you might not realize. So listening to different genres of music is going to add an element to the learning process for your kids. And I think that if you focus on all these 10 points, you're going to be on a very good path to make your kid learn some good quality music. I hope that this video helped, and if you have any other queries related to this topic, please do put them in the comment section below and I would love to answer them. Do let me know what you think about this 10 series on my channel, and if you have any specific topic on which you would like me to talk about, do let me know and I would love to cover that topic. Thank you for listening and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.